Yo, what is up you guys, 11 Collects here, and today I'm doing another review, this time of the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga Iron Man Mark 3 armour from the first Iron Man movie. I'm waiting for this figure a long time. Love the Marvel's 10 years Mark 7, so I can't wait to get this open. So here he is in the box. It's got the Iron Man logo up there, Legends logo, the Infinity Saga logo, Infinity Saga picture on the side, a little read up on the back, and a picture from a poster of the movie. So yeah, let's finally crack this in the open. I can't wait to have this in hand. So in terms of accessories with this figure, we do get quite a few very cool accessories. First we get two head pieces. Firstly we get a helmeted head sculpt, obviously the Mark 3 design, looking really nice, from Iron Man 1. It's really cool. Details on it really nice. Really nice to get that greys detail in there on the mouth as well. Eyes looking nice. So yeah, pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of marbling in the red, but it's not too bad from the front at all. Yeah, the gold paint looks a little bit, tiny little bit of marbling maybe, but yeah, it's not too bad at all. Anyway, the other head sculpt, which is definitely my favourite, is the Tony Stark unmasked head sculpt. So not really unmasked, more just an open helmet design, which is, you know, how he used to do with all of his early suits before he had the whole helmet come off. But yeah, it looks really cool. His eyes do look like it's looking off to the right a little bit, as you can see, which is slightly annoying, but it's not too bad. But yeah, anyway, I think the likeness is pretty good. In the comparison section, I will compare it to the Endgame Tony Stark head sculpt as well, and stuff like that. So the detail's great, but you get those grey bits as well, and mask it up. Yeah, the marblings look not as bad on the top or anything on this. So yeah, pretty nice. One thing I would mention is maybe I think these eyes should be black, because I think whenever he lifts it up, the eyes go black because they turn off. And I've got another up head sculpt, and those are black. And I think in the movies, because whenever you see movies, heads are like this, and when it comes down, the eyes light up. So I think they should be black when they're up there, not glowing white. But it's not the end of the world anyway, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that anyway. Next, I'll show you the hands. So we get a pair of fisted hands, right and left here, looking pretty nice, pretty basic. We do get these nice big, not really sure what sort of pad on the back of the hand that is a classic from the Mark 3 armor design. Yeah, it looks nice. No specific paint detail, but the sculpting is great. Don't get any paint on the arc reactors or anything. Not the arc reactors, the repulsors or anything, but you know, the sculpt is nice and good. Then we get the other set of hands, which is the interesting part. So we get these repulse firing hands, very nice. No articulation, because you get the flap lifted up and everything. But we get painted repulsors, which is very unusual, because we don't get a port for the effects pieces. So I've got the Mark 7. This is just an example. It is the same across all Iron Man figures, as far as I remember. But yeah, we get a port there for an effects piece to go into. But on this Mark 3 design, we actually don't get that port, which is kind of odd. So you get that and just plug it into there, and then you obviously have the pulse firing effect. But on these hands, we have a solid white paint, so you can't plug it in at all. And so that's slightly unusual. So on the other hand, in the classic poses where he's holding his repulsor fire, obviously doesn't look great because there's just a hole there. So it's nice, I guess, to have that, so you can have that same effect, but not have it look a lot better. But then at the same time, you don't have the option to port in the effects piece, which we've had before, so you can't really get any flying poses or anything like that, which is really annoying. But one thing I will mention is, as you can see, they are different, but you might be able to get away with having that as the same hand. And I do believe this hand will fit on the Mark 3 body. I'll just try it now. Almost. Maybe. Yeah, kind of get it in there. Yeah, so I think that looks alright, so I guess you could do that if you wanted to. But yeah, maybe it would be nice to get the option of both, or yeah, it's just they've never done that before, so it's slightly odd, and I'm not sure why they went with that. Obviously I do like it, I do think it looks really good having the white there, but I'll have to see when I get into posing how I like not being able to have any effects pieces in without using hands from other figures. Finally, the other accessories we get are the sort of forearm attachments there that go on there. So you get 3 with these. You get firstly the base piece here. Not really interesting to look at. This is the non-gadget, it's just having it normal one there. And then the first one we get is a rocket firing arm, which is probably my favourite. I think it does look really cool on the figure, as I'll show you in a minute when I look at the figure. Paint's great, the gold and the black, and yeah, it's just really cool, really nice to have that. We never had really any options like that for a MCU Iron Man figure before, and yeah, that is definitely really nice. And then this one is the last piece, and this one is slightly unusual. As you can see, it's much larger, and as you can see, they fit the same pattern. So you have the this piece opening up to have the rockets inside, and then this piece opens up, but there's other bits on the front which I think are supposed to be parts of like the wrist that are opening up to show what I think is just like vents and stuff on the inside. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be sort of, if it's overheating or something, or maybe laser, but I don't think he has lasers until Iron Man 2, so I'm not sure. I might do a bit of research into it now and see if I can figure out what it's supposed to be. It might just be like a flap or sort of overheating exhaust vent. Yeah, but it does look cool. The paint is nice. You get the red paint in the little what not sure, like sort of fan blade, but you also get the gunmetal silver greyish paint in there, which looks really nice. So here is the Mark III Iron Man figure, all out of the packaging, and again, he's difficult to stand up. He's a bit wobbly, but not too bad as the others, mainly because these flaps sort of hinder the foot articulation. But yeah, first impressions, I've had this in hand for a while now, but really love this figure. Definitely probably my favourite, didn't say definitely, probably that's an oxymoron I believe, but definitely my favourite Marvel Legends Iron Man figure. Maybe one of my favourite Marvel Legends of all time. I mean, it is an amazing figure to have in hand. Super accurate, looks so cool. All the details amazing. All the the changeable pieces on here are insane. Legs look great. Body, just all of it looks so cool. Very accurate, and I've been a fan of these movies for my whole life basically. And yeah, it's just incredible to see this classic suit from the first Iron Man movie brought to life in such an amazing way, and to be able to finally have it in hand in such an accurate format. So when I say brought to life in such an accurate format, this is the last one I had, and I don't know if it's a Marvel Legends. I've heard people call this figure a Marvel Legends before, but I'm not sure if it is. This is a figure I've had since I was a kid, so obviously it's missing a shoulder pad and it's a bit very beaten up, but yeah, this is the only representation in figure form we've had of the suit for a while. So you can see the massive improvement we get for this Mark III suit from this Marvel Legends. And yeah, very nice to put those together. We'll show you them again in the comparison section. So yeah, this is a really nice figure. I'm going into detail, and this body piece is really cool. We get the arc reactor right in the middle, and it has this really nice glowing effect, which I do think is really nice in terms of actually showing that it glows. It's not like, doesn't just look weird. It actually does look like it's glowing. And the actual arc reactor in the middle does look and feel a bit like a sticker. I'm not sure if it is, but yeah, you can see a little bit of red on the outside, but yeah, it's not too bad. It does look very accurate. Bit of like sort of marbling stuff on the paint here, but other than that, it's great. The details are really awesome on this figure. We get the gold paint down there. I mean, a few years ago we never would have got details like that. We just get all the grey paint, the gunmetal up in the collar, on the chest, looking amazing. Shaping of the sculpt is really nice. Going on the back, we get all this gold detail on the back, looking great. More that gunmetal around there. The shoulders looking really cool, right to the neck. So yeah, really nice. We get these really nice shoulder pads that are clipped in sort of at the top between the arm and there, and they just sort of go on like that. Be careful with these, because if you hold them too out for long, they will get stuck like that. This one already likes to go up a little bit more, as you can see, whereas this one doesn't, because I had him posed with his arm up for a while. I'll show you my Mark 7 again. and I'm not sure if you can see it with this one, but see that one is a lot higher because I had him posed like that, obviously the head like that for about months and months, and yeah, this one has just never gone down since. Obviously I could probably take a hairdryer to it, heat it up and sort it, but I don't really want to do that. So yeah, try and be careful to not have that problem with this figure, but it does seem like it's going to be happening with this one as well. Yeah, the shoulder pads do look nice, the sculpt is great, really nice. Moving down to the arms, again the sculpt is nice, the gold paint comes off really great, not looking too bad at all. We get the what's it called, red in the joint in the middle. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Obviously I'll show a picture of the Iron Man movie picture there from the movie to show you accuracy, anyway. But yeah, we have the grey joints in there on the Mark 7, and it's on a few other Iron Man figures, but I do think that looks nice. I'm not sure if he did have red in there. If he had red in the movie, then this makes sense, but yeah, I feel like he usually has grey. But anyway, the elbow pads are really nice. That's really nice to touch, to get little elbow pads on the back, whereas, you know, for example with this figure we usually don't really get the sort of the full elbow pad. It just sort of looks like that, whereas in this one we do get a whole separate piece elbow pad in the middle, and it does look great from the front as well. And this arm looks great, the gold paint a little bit on there as well, everything like that. Same on this arm. As you can see, there is a difference between these two, but it's not too bad. But obviously this one is the removable one. As you can see, it's got a bit more of a black outline underneath where the gap is. So yeah, but it's not too noticeable. So yeah, moving down, the legs on this figure also look really great, and the paint is nice, the gold and the red, and you get the gunmetal in there as well on both sides, which does look really cool. Definitely look really nice. Get a bit on the knee pads as well, which is nice detail. Yeah, the boots look really great. You get those pieces on the back there, which looks cool, a little sculpted, I'm not sure what you call this, I guess they're kind of like thrusters. He does have thrusters that come out the back, but I do believe they sort of lifted up in the movie. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the feet look great as well. Like I said, one really good detail is firstly these paint spots on there, which are really nice, but also the ports are in the middle. As you can see on other Iron Man figures, like I'll bring the Mark 7 out again just to have it on hand all the time, but you get the repulsor there, and then you get the peg at the back, which means when you plug an effect in to fly with, there it's at the back of the foot like that, and it just sort of, you know, it doesn't look bad, but if you look at the feet, it does look like it's coming out the back. So it is really cool to actually have it in the middle, and the actual, you know, the pulse pit where it fires out of is actually the port. And yeah, it does look really cool and good. So yeah, that is really nice extra detail on there. But yeah, like I said, the sculpt looks great on the feet, and then these little painted bits are really cool. So yeah, I think I've been talking enough about the all the sculpt and detail. So yeah, now I'll show you, get rid of that Iron Man Mark 7 and show you the alternate pieces. So first of all, take off this really nice Robert Downey Jr. open faced head sculpt, pop it off, and then pop the other one on. Oh yeah, and it's got one of these double wall jointed heads. Now as you can see, Iron Man is completely mangled because this headpiece is really difficult to get on. It's like the hole for it is just too small for the peg. It's really difficult to get on. I completely forgot about that because last time I did it was like yesterday. I completely forgot about how hard it was to get on. But once you get it on, it's not too bad. It's a little bit tighter on the top one, but obviously the bottom one still does, so it's hard to show. Yep, head sculpt looks great on the figure. Obviously the closed down mask head sculpt is looking really cool. Not really too much to say. I went over it on the accessory section. But yeah, anyway, on the actual figure it does look great. Next piece is, like I said, this pops off, and it's really cool actually because you get the sculpted detail underneath as well, which is a nice little added thing. Obviously you usually wouldn't see it. Yeah, like I said, this bit goes on. It's one of my favourite things ever. I just think that looks so cool, you know, get the whole firing. Because that's one thing Iron Man has always had, is he had, you know, hidden weapons in his suit, and we never really saw that in the Marvel Legends format up until we got the event Endgame sort of stuff, and he has the nanotech, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, that is really cool. And then we do get the other piece, which I talked about before, at the start of the video. But yeah, apparently a lot of people are saying that this is a sort of hand guard to block like bullets and stuff, which yeah, I guess makes sense. I mean they said bullets, but obviously the whole suit is bulletproof, so yeah, but I guess, you know, blocking other stuff, it would make sense, you know, sort of shield. Maybe if he was getting punched, yeah, it would block it. But like ironmonger or something, yeah, I get why that would work. So yeah, I think that's what it's for. But anyway, it looks great anyway. We get the interchangeable hands, we get the repulsor hands, which look really cool with that flap button up, which is nice. It really suits really, it feels really smooth on there. There's no gap or anything. And yeah, like I said, you can have it sort of in that classic pose where he's pointing it at the repulsor at the camera, and yeah, it's white now instead of grey, so it does look a bit better. But then yeah, really cool. The hands really well, flying as well, looks pretty good. Obviously you can't put the piece in, like I said before, but you can still sort of have them floating there. So in terms of articulation, in this figure, the head moves backwards that far, which isn't amazing, but then also if you include the rotation, you can get him in a decent flying pose, I guess. But it's, yeah, it would be nice to have him look up a little bit more. And he looks down that far, it spins all the way around, and you get a little, or quite a lot of a pivot side to side. The arms move up that high, and they're not hindered by the pads, obviously, because they've got that special design which makes them not. You get a full bicep swivel, and you can get it all the way around. You get a double jointed elbow, no swivel, but you get a wrist swivel and a very slight bend forward on these wrists, and almost no bend back. But like I said, because of these pads, it makes it really difficult, and also the design of the arm where it can't even actually move forward further than that. And then these other hands don't have any articulation at all. So moving down, we get the sort of rib cage sort of area, and you do get a swivel there. Also moves back that far and down that far. We get a gap here. I didn't really do any swivel there. No, so the legs come out that far, and the leg articulation on this figure are really good. Obviously we get this moving up and down a bit to allow for more articulation, but yeah, he kicks all the way up, which is cool, and then back pretty far as well. And you get a thigh swivel there, double bend at the knee, which is really cool. Although that does look a little bit odd in there, but anyway, double bend at the knee. Do get a swivel down here, but it's heavily hindered by the pads around the feet. Again, forward only goes that far, backwards goes about that far, again hindered by the pads. And we do get the slight ankle pivot, again hindered by the pads, but obviously it's the design of the suit, so that's not the figure's fault really, it's the design. So yeah, the articulation is not too bad on this figure at all. The head articulation needs a little bit to be desired, but in terms of posability, like physically, it's a lot better for this figure for me. Obviously you can hear a little squeak there on that one, but in general the articulation is really fairly loose, whereas all my other figures have had such stiff articulation, you can barely move them. Not sure if I've just been getting really unlucky recently, or they're just all like that, but yeah, not too bad on this one at all. So now we'll get into the comparisons. Firstly, I'll do a quick head sculpt comparison between these two. The main reason I want to do these two is because the eyes. So in the Mark 7 here we have the blue paint on the eyes to make it look like they're glowing, whereas this doesn't. I do prefer this one than this one, but if you'd want the glowing eyes, you can probably do a head swap. I'll just give it a go here. Sorry, other way around. There we go. Its head looks a little bit short. I guess you could sort of try and have it halfway on the peg and it might work. Maybe. Sort of like that, it kind of works. If you wanted the glowing eyes, so yeah, if you did want that, it does kind of work. In terms of Tony Stark sculpt comparison, like I was saying before, you know I was saying on the Endgame figure that his head looked way too big. When you compare it, it is massive. But yeah. Anyway, obviously this is probably a bit better representation, but they got more real estate to work with to get that likeness correct. Whereas this is quite tiny, but yeah, it still looks really good. And obviously, the head doesn't fit at all. You might be able to take it out of here. No, because the ball joint's coming from this bit into that one. Actually, maybe you could take this out. I'm not sure if you wanted to, but anyway, I think the head would look absolutely massive on there anyway. So I do another Tony Stark head sculpt. I'm not entirely sure where this came from. I think it it might have been the Spider-Man Homecoming 2-pack set, or maybe the Captain America Civil War 3-pack set. But yeah, it is definitely an MCU only stock. Try and check that on here as well. And yeah, it looks a bit small and close to the neck. Obviously, it's not a great representation of Robert Downey Jr. anyway. But yeah, it does sort of work if you want to have that one on there. So I did say I would do these two together a bit more in a comparison. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. Heard some people call this figure a Marvel Legends. I'm not sure if it is. I also heard someone say it's not a Marvel Legends. So if you know, please put it in the comments and I will definitely read it. But yeah, you can see they're definitely the same design. Look on the legs and everything, you can see, which is really nice. But yeah, it's just really nice to see how far figures have come in the time. And yeah, it's really nice for me. It's one of the first, probably the first Iron Man toy I've had as a kid. And I've got the Marvel Legends version, and it's really cool to compare them. Weird figure this one is. Doesn't have any fisted hands, just does have a sort of repulsed hand and a sort of old person keyboard typing hand. And yeah, this hand doesn't have any sculpted detail on it, and it has a pink repulsor. So yeah, slightly odd, but yeah, quite interesting to see the difference. And now we have the Mark III compared to the Mark 7. This is a really cool comparison, as the Mark 7 was my favourite Marvel Legends Iron Man for a very long time, but now I think it may have been surpassed. This Mark III figure is just really cool. I do still really love this Mark 7. It's the one with all the flaps from the Marvel 10-year series, and yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, the pads are a bit of a problem, but yeah, I do just like the features that come with this, the Mark III, a bit better, especially like it would be nice to get something like that on the 7, but we didn't. But yeah, it's still a great figure, and if you can find it somewhere, I definitely would advise you get this one. But yeah, here they are compared. And next up we have the Civil War Iron Man figure. This is the battle damage version from the 3-pack, and yeah, looking pretty cool. Definitely a lot of improvements in Marvel Legends Iron Man since this figure. This one won't even have his leg come out. These repulsors were just really bad as well, as they wouldn't come backwards. So when you try to have him look like he was firing, it would just look like that. Probably shouldn't do that, but that's actually worse. Yeah, so you can actually have him do a repulsor blast without making it look like a really offensive salute sort of thing. So yeah, definitely come a long way, and definitely glad we have these hands now, which is really nice. So here we have the same sculpt, because it's the same suit again, but just repainted for the Homecoming movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. And yeah, same sort of issues with this suit, with that hand again, bit annoying, but yeah, the paint on this one is really cool. I get it's not really classic Iron Man, but I do actually really like the painting on here. This is what I was talking about before with the black eyes when he's got his mask up. Obviously there's no head inside here, but anyway, obviously because it's from the scene in Spider-Man Homecoming where Tony's not actually inside it. But yeah, it's blacked out eyes, but I believe that's how he has it all the time anyway. Next up we have the Infinity War suits. I used to know the mark names for all of these, but over time it's just other information has overtaken it and it's not 100% necessary. But yeah, anyway, this is the light up one from the Doctor Strange Thanos 3-pack, obviously including this figure on the very wobbly head. And here's the comparison. This is the nanobot suit, so they are very different, as you can see. And again, we do finally get the proper repulsed hands on this figure, but then we do also have a really loose head and a not exactly accurate paint colour, because the movie is a lot darker than this. This is very, very light. The movie was actually very dark, and if I grab this one, in the movies it was actually a lot more close to this colour than it was this one. And then finally we have next to the Endgame. I believe this is the Mark 85 suit here. Again, very nice, you can see. I can't remember which one of these was released first. I think it was this one. But yeah, anyway, very nice to compare them. This is the pretty cool comparison, because this is the first ever MCU Iron Man suit and the last one. And as you can see, they're a lot closer than all the ones in the middle, but this one is completely nanotech. So it looks very cool and techy, sort of futuristic, whereas this one looks very cool and I guess more realistic. Obviously no Iron Men are realistic because you couldn't really have a man in there because one dent and you'd probably break a bone. And I won't bother showing every Iron Man figure, but I will show this one because it's the same, classic red Iron Man. Because obviously I have the old blue and stuff ones, but yeah, this is from the Gameverse. And yeah, similar sort of designs as in it's just a basic Iron Man suit. Obviously this one's a lot cooler because this is not the best design, but yeah, it's alright. Now let's get to the posing. So overall I absolutely love this figure. I can't wait to take millions of pictures of it and yeah, compare it, and yeah, really glad to have it. Next I'm going to be doing the Spider-Man reviews for the No Way Home. I saw No Way Home over a week ago now. It is the 24th of December, it's actually Christmas Eve today, and I saw No Way Home last Wednesday when it released in the UK. But the reviews for those figures probably won't come out for months and months and months, so sorry about that, but at least I'm not trying to cash in to make a little bit of extra views. But yeah, I can't wait to review those. Anyway, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.